Thank you so much for coming to the Dempsey Startup info session today. My name is Yuko Oaku. I'm the Dempsey Startup Competition manager, and I'm also in charge of the Jones and Foster Accelerator program at the Buerk Center for Entrepreneurship. So today I'm here to talk about the Dempsey Startup Competition that's coming up in April and May. And here are the agenda for today. So we're going to introduce the competition, talk about eligibility, schedule, rounds, how to prepare, and how success looks like for the competition. And I'll stop in a few parts of the info session to see if we have any questions. And then we'll have somebody at the end to talk about the special prize we have for this year. So Dempsey Startup Competition, it's in our 26th year of the competition, and it is a new venture competition for students across the region. We have awarded $1.8 million in prize money to over 200 teams, and we had over 6,100 students participate in the past. And it is a really great networking opportunity for all of you, as we have about 300 plus entrepreneurs and investors who take part in the competition as judges, advisors, and mentors every year. And so why enter a competition? I think all of you are here because you're already interested and excited about the competition, and I'm really happy you're here. One thing I want to emphasize is it's a competition. So really, think about winning the competition, wanting to be the top 4, but that's not the main focus of the competition, really. It's, you get so much out of this experience, and, a lot of the students describe this experience as the highlight of their college experience. So, through this experience, you make a serious progress on your idea in, just 8 weeks. You'll be going through a lot of different rounds and iterating on your business and getting feedback from the experienced industry professionals, and really build your network of entrepreneurs within Seattle and within yourselves. And another thing I want to emphasize is that applied learning is the best learning. So, when you go out into the world, maybe work as a sales professional, you'll be maybe focusing on one area of work, like sales. But if you're doing an entrepreneurial work like the competition, you have to do sales, you have to do customer service, you have to do how to do finance and project management. So it's really a great way to sort of test your skills, flex your muscles, and sort of get to know yourself and your strength really well. And, of course, you get to win the prize money at the end, which is a plus. So going to the eligibility. So this competition is open to enrolled degree-seeking students in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Alaska, and British Columbia. So it is open to any types of business. So it could be in health and tech, environment, social enterprise. It could be a nonprofit as well. So it's open to many different kinds of businesses. And teams who have participated in the EIC or HIC are also eligible to enter the Dempsey Startup Competition. An idea must be appropriate for our university-sponsored events. And if you're working with an outside entrepreneur, that is fine, but the students have to have an ownership or equity or an employment in that business to apply for the Dempsey competition. And the competition is really to support the early stage business ideas. So if you have gained over $500K in seed funding, competition dollars, or revenue, you're not eligible to apply to the Dempsey competition. So I want to stop here just so to see if you have any questions about the eligibility or just the overview that I talked about.
Hi, thanks, Yuko. Just wanted to ask if you do at some point receive funding once you've already applied and potentially been accepted to the Dempsey, are you able to proceed, or do you have to then withdraw?
That is a very interesting question. I don't think we had anyone like that. It is eligibility like for the competition to enter the competition, at the beginning, and we haven't had a case where someone raised funding during that 8 weeks in April and May. So I would have to check with my team to see if how we would handle that case. Okay.
When I was looking at the application, there's only, I think, 5 different areas that are listed, and I'm not sure exactly where my team's idea sits. It's not exactly a fit for 2 of the categories could be vaguely relevant.
It's a competition open to all kinds of businesses and industries. So just picking the one that best matches your business idea would be fine, and we'll be kind of making sure that you get matched up with the judges that have the the industry expertise in the area that your business is in, so that you can get the most out of the feedback from these judges. All right, so moving on to the talking about different rounds of the competition. So we have it's a multi-stage competition, and the first round is the screening round, where we submitting 5 to 7 page business summary, and the deadline is April 3rd. So it's for the UW students, it's the second week of class, so you want to make sure that you really meet the deadline. It's gonna the deadline is 11:59 on Monday, April 3rd. And after that, the applications will be sent to about 200 judges to be screened. Each judge will get about 5 to 6 applications. And there'll be scoring and rating your application, leaving your comments. And the top 36 teams that receive the most points will be advanced into the investment round on May 4th. And I'm going to be talking about these rounds in detail in a little bit. And after that, we have May 17th, the coaching round, which is a practice round for the Sweet 16 teams that are selected from the batch of 36 at the investment round. And then the final day is May 25th, where we'll have Sweet 16 round, and the top 4 teams will then move on to the final round, where we'll be selecting the top 4 winners. And we'll have the awards dinner on the same night, where we'll be announcing all the prize winners of the Dempsey competition this year. And as I shared, the grand prize is $25K, and we have second prize, third prize, fourth prize, and a special prizes that I'll be talking about later in the presentation. One thing I wanted to talk about is that it is a hybrid competition, whereas investment round and the Sweet 16 final round, so May 4th and the May 25th, are in person. So even if you are not in Seattle, we would like you to travel to Seattle to be in person. However, all the other rounds, like coaching round or any of the info sessions or workshop we'll be having, will be virtual. So you can be at home and be participating in these workshops. So different application components. We have deliverables for different application components. Screening round, as I shared, you need to submit a business summary of 5 to 7 pages. For the investment round, we'll be asking you to submit a 1-page business summary that will be sent to the judges beforehand, so they can see all the 36 teams and sort of kind of decide a focus on which team they want to visit on the day. And on the Sweet 16 and final round, you'll be asked to submit a business plan of 12 to 15 pages and prepare a 15 minutes live pitch for these rounds. So moving on to the screening round. So this is absolutely the first round that you'll be submitting your application to. You'll be submitting application with team information as well as 5 to 7 page executive summary. About 200 judges will review the initial entries and then submit scores based on the judging criteria. And 36 teams that score the highest will advance to the investment round. So here are some of the all of the judging criteria we have for the screening round. We have 8. So we have overall impression, team, can you execute this plan, market opportunity, competitive strategy, what's your differentiator, go-to-market strategy, how you're going to reach your customer, traction, financials, and social impact. Social impact wasn't evaluated at the same level as everything else in the past, but from this year onwards, we're going to have them being evaluated at the same point. So it'll be 5 points and 5 points for everything else. And you can read, I really recommend that you look at the submission checklist, which I'll be sharing with you later through email, to make sure that there are guiding questions for all of these different criteria. So make sure that you read these questions and as a guiding question to when you are preparing your application. Just a few tips. Really, well, first of all, spell check and have somebody else read it. Make sure that it is very clear what you're trying to come up to the put forward. I found oftentimes that the students don't kind of jump in to answer all these different questions without really elaborating on the plan itself. So make sure that what you're trying to do, what your business is, and what your solution is very, very clear in the application. And the judges will be looking at 5 to 6 different plans from you. So make it make it as easy as possible for people to understand your business plan. So having visuals, numbers, statistics, something like that would be a good way to do so. Right, moving on to the next round, which is the investment round at Seattle Center Exhibition Hall. So the top 36 teams from the screening round will be presenting in a kind of a trade show style booth at Seattle Center. You'll have a booth of 8 feet wide, as you see in the picture, and you'll be presenting your business through these booths, however you like. And about 300 judges will attend, and we'll be asking the judges to invest their 1,000 Buerk bucks. So we give them like a fake money to invest in your company. So we ask them to invest in at least 5 companies, and we also encourage them to invest in a variety of industries. So they don't just, if you're a tech professional, we don't want that person to just invest in tech, but to look at a variety of different businesses that the students are putting forward. So at the end of the day, it's a very, very fun event. You'll be interacting with all these different teams. If you do have time, you might be busy just attending your booth, but you could go around and see other people's booth and different business ideas as well. You get to, exchange business contacts with different professionals that are there. And at the end of the day, we'll have a reception, and then we'll be announcing the top 16 teams that'll be advancing to the next round, the Sweet 16 round. One note is that for you Dub students, this participating investment round could count as 2 elective credits, and I'll be sharing more information about that once you're accepted to the investment round. So what are some of the judging criteria for the investment round? This one is a little more, I guess, not as rigid, because the judges won't be evaluating on each of them on the spot. It'll be more about, how much money to invest in each of your companies. And the feedback will be given to you directly in person. On screening out, they'll be writing to you, through the Unoodle platform. And you'll be receiving those afterwards, before the investment round, so you can incorporate this feedback from the screening round to the investment round. So in the investment round, the judges will be looking at, is the business well thought out? Did the team demonstrate the knowledge of the industry and the customers through the Q&A? Is there a real opportunity? And the really important thing is that, because they'll be asking questions to you, the booth, so to see if you really, if you're able to answer the questions from the judges on the spot. So moving on to the next round, which is for the Sweet 16 teams, is a virtual coaching round. So this is a non-elimination round, which means that nobody's going to be eliminated. It's really a way to get more practice on your 15-minute pitch and the slide deck, and get feedback on the slide deck that you'll be presenting in the Sweet 16 and the final round. And although it's a practice, we'll have 5 to 7 coaches to offer feedback on the pitch, and this will be held on May 17th in the evening on Zoom. So this is the sort of the final moment of, or the day of the competition, which is the live Sweet 16 round, we May 25th. So the Sweet 16 teams will be asked to submit a full 12 to 15 page business plan and deliver the 15-minute pitch. So how it works is that the teams will be divided into 4 different rooms, and there'll be 4 teams in each of the rooms. And about 7 judges are in each of the rooms, and then hearing pitches from those 4 teams. And after that, the morning, they'll be selecting the top team from each room to advance to the final round. So we'll be making the announcement for the final 4 teams at lunch right after Sweet 16. And here's the final round, which happens in the afternoon of the May 25th. So the final 4 teams will repeat the same pitch to a brand new set of judges that have never heard your pitch before. And all the judges are accomplished entrepreneurs from the area. Many of them actually alums of the university and the Buerk Center programs. And this is the only round actually that is open to public, and it'll be at the Peak Forum this year. So tonight it's a very busy day. It's Sweet 16 final round, and then we have the award ceremony this year at Bell Harbor. And this is where we're going to be announcing all the prizes, of course, the top 4 prizes and the 11 big best idea and best big picture prizes. The awards dinner. So here are overview of the prizes. We have grand prize, second, third, fourth, and we have also the big picture prizes and the best idea prizes at $5,000 and $2,500. So the $5,000 prizes are social impact and Internet of Things, and we have 9 categories for the best idea prize, like consumer products, B2B prize, we have community impact prize, and we have a new prize called Tri-Sector Innovation as well. And so the caveat is that big picture and best idea prizes are selected from the top 36 teams in the investment round. So if you're at an investment round, you do want to come to the dinner so you can get awarded. And no one team can win more than 1 big picture or best idea prize, which means that we'll be awarding 11 different teams. That means like about a third of the teams that participate in the investment round are eligible for these prizes. And the grand prize to the 4th prize can overlap with the best picture and big picture and best idea prizes. So you could win, 2 prizes together with the 1st to the 4th prize. So the competition judges are really the greatest, the asset for the competition. It is a great asset for you to get to know at the competition. There are prominent members of Seattle's entrepreneurship ecosystem. You get to know a lot of entrepreneurs, investors, attorneys, engineers, lots of alums. I would say a third of them are alums of the university and also the Buerk Center programs, and professionals from different areas that you will get to meet in person at investment round. But also, even if you don't advance to the investment round, you get feedback from these people that you get matched up at the screening round. And all the judges are vetted by the program, and faculty, students, and staff are not eligible to judge in the Dempsey competition. All right, so I wanted to stop here and see if anyone have any questions. So please raise your hand if you have a question about the schedule and rounds before I go ahead and talk about how to apply and how to prepare section.
Hi, so I have 2 questions. The first one is regarding round 1 for the 5 to 7 page limit. Does that include like references, appendix, title page, or is that just like content?
It's 8 pages, including title page. So it should be the content should be up to 7 pages, and you can see. I'll be talking about the examples in a little bit, but you can see how people have referenced and made citations in the past. It is
Okay.
not, you're not writing an academic paper. I'll say that. So it is, in a sense, it's not necessary for you to make a certain type of citation.
Okay.
So kind of think about it as like a marketing material for your business when you talk, when you're preparing your application for Dempsey, and also the one pager.
Okay, thank you. That helps. And then my second question is, so I have a co-founder that's outside of UW. When can she join in any of the rounds, like part of the pitching of anything like that, or can only the UW students pitch?
No, is she, where does she go to school?
She's not in school.
She can be at the investment round, but for the pitches later, she can be at the investment round, and then she can support you on the booth, as long as we have a 4-person limit on how many people can be talking to the judges at the same time. So she can be one of those people. However, when you do advance to the later rounds, like Sweet 16 and final round, only the student members are able to pitch. So she won't be able to pitch, but she'll be able to actually answer questions from the judges.
During the process, do we need to actually build a working prototype during this competition?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the question. That's a question that I get a lot as well. There is no, so the Dempsey is not a prototype competition. It is a business plan competition. So there is no sort of requirement to if you have a prototype or at what stage this prototype is. That being said, when you do advance to the investment round, you do want to kind of make sure that you show what your business plan is in a very clear manner. So having, even if it's not I'm not quite sure what kind of idea that you're thinking about, if it's a consumer product or physical product, but you do want to, through a physical or even a visual representation, I think it would be helpful to have something that shows what your idea is.
Okay, thank you. I actually have another question, which is,
Sure.
I understand that there's no lowest limitation on the number of people involved, so which means one person can sign up for this competition. But during the competition, is it possible to add in more members?
Yes, it's absolutely fine to add more members.
Okay, thank you.
And yes, you can apply as a one-person team. However, when you do get to the investment, it will be quite difficult because you'll be then fielding questions from all these different judges by yourself. So we do recommend, if you're a solo founder, to sort of, see if you can find people to be on your team at the investment round. And it's totally fine to have people as you go through the competition.
Do we need to show if we don't have a functional prototype, do we need to show our technical development plan, or is that beyond the scope of Dempsey?
Again, like, we don't have a requirement on what you need to show. You just need to kind of think about what would be the best way to showcase your business idea and business plan to the judges. So the short answer is no, you don't need to have the document that you talk about, but just want to make sure that you are very clear about what your business idea is. All right, so moving on to how to apply. So I think some of you have already started the application. Please create your account on uNoodle. I'll be sending a link to you later after this call. And make sure that you fill out the team information before the application deadline. It does take some time to complete your company information, team information, probably like 15 to 20 minutes. So you want to make sure that you do that before, so you don't have any technical difficulties right before the application deadline on April 3rd. And again, you'll be uploading 5 to 7 executive summary, 8 pages with title page by 11:59 on Monday, April 3rd. Fill out the application, the team information section in advance, and review the submission checklist closely before submitting your application. So some tips I wanted to cover on how to prepare the Dempsey application. Again, review the submission checklist. This is available on our website as well. And there'll be guiding questions to make sure that you meet the judging criteria of the competition. And there'll be an administrative checklist at the end of the document to make sure that your, application is it's kind of adhering to all the rules of the competition. And another thing I recommend is to review the past entries. This is available, 10 different successful applications from the past are available online on the Dempsey application page. So please have a look to see, these are kind of children from different industry areas. So it might be interesting for you to look at and see if there are any applications in the area of your business. And I'll be also offering office hours where you could look at other examples from previous years in print. And I'll be talking about that in a little bit. And do the research. So, obviously you can do online research, but we do have a business library available at Foster. And if you're not a UW student, I'm sure you have libraries that you can do that can really help you dive deep, especially into your industry and your market. You can also get tips from the former students. If you know students who have participated in Dempsey before or some similar competition, reach out to them, get feedback on your application. There is also a YouTube on our Buerk Center YouTube channel where the HIC panel past participants talk about their competition experience, and a lot of them have also participated in Dempsey competition. So a lot of what they talk about is very relevant to the Dempsey experience. We have also a startup resource webpage with different resources on different areas that you might be would like to get more information about. And again, we do have application office hours coming up on. It's a little bit later in the month, March 28th, where I'll be in person with the past application from I think 2017 to 19. So if you do want to see more than 10 applications that are available online, you can come and check these paper applications. Just to note that these are office hours available to you where I'll be answering questions about the competition. So, and I'm not able to review your application, provide comment because I'm a program, I'm running the program as a program manager. But if you do want your application reviewed and receive feedback, we'll be offering MBA consultant office hours and other office hours by the mentors, and I'll be sharing that information with you after this session. Again, the application deadline is Monday, April 3rd. So just a few quick points before I end this session or my portion of the session. If you are looking for teams to join, or if your company is looking for team members, we do have this great platform, Startup Tree, where you can connect with students and teams that are looking to participate in Dempsey competition. So I recommend that you have a look at that. We also have a Discord channel to connect students interested in participating in Dempsey and other Buerk Center programs. And here are all these success stories from the Dempsey competition. You may have seen, some of the companies on here like Joe Chocolate or Gravity Payments. Here are some headlines of the recent years. We've had, some teams like Karama and LifeApp who's been named the Forbes 30 under 30 and, have very significant funding in the past couple of years. Just wanted to lastly highlight about Jones and Fossil Accelerator Program. A lot of the teams that participate in Dempsey and want to really take their business forward, make it their thing. Their often apply to the Jones and Fossil Accelerator Program. It's a 6-month accelerator program that happens every year from August to February, and you're eligible up to $25K seed funding at the end of the program. And we do consider Dempsey as sort of the way to show traction before applying to the Jones and Fossil Accelerator Program. So if you are thinking about the accelerator program, I strongly recommend that you apply with the business idea that you're thinking about entering the accelerator with, so you can get a lot of feedback from the judges through the competition process. So thank you so much for coming to join the info session. Really looking forward to all your applications. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email anytime. It's a really special, great experience. I hope you all apply. The deadline is April 3rd. So remember to prepare your application before that and apply on the platform. So thank you so much for coming, and have a good afternoon.